Hello, good morning. My name is José Soroa. I'm the manager of Landoo. We are Odoo Gold Partner in Spain, in the north of Spain, in Basque Country. Today, I will show you what's the TicketBAI project. The TicketBAI project, to understand that, first we have to speak about some legal aspects of this project and some technical ones. And finally, we will have a small demo of the module and some time for your questions. To say it in one sentence, the TicketBAI is a tool to fight against tax fraud. This is for Basque Country in Spain. The main objective is to cover some questions that actually the actual regulation has not covered. For example, the invoices, now they are not uniquely declared to the tax agency, not all of them, just a part of them. And the POS tickets, they are not declared in any way, okay? Not one by one. The total amount is declared, obviously, by the company. The scope of this project is just in Basque Country. As you can see in the map, it's a small region. In Spain, we are less than the 7% of the GDP of Spain. But if the project goes is successful, we think that in the next years, maybe the tax agency of Spain will get a new project with a different name, but for the same with the same aspects. Okay, so we have to be very aware of this project. In Basque Country, we have 3 provinces: Araba, Vizcaya, and they have some slight differences in each case. For example, in the schedule is all of them. They have a voluntary period now this year in 2021, and in the next year, in 2022, Gipuzkoa and Araba will be mandatory to use TicketBAI, and in Vizcaya is not mandatory until 2024. But we are working with the timeline that in the first half of 2022, we think most companies of Vizcaya will ask for implementation of TicketBAI because they have some fiscal benefits if they implement before it's mandatory. How does it work? To know that, we have to see some aspects. We will see them all in next slides, but just one comment here. All the features necessary are fully covered with our module. Speaking about the architecture of the system, we have 2 different moments in the invoice. One is in the creation, signing, and when we give the invoice to the customer, and we have another phase after when we deliver this information to the tax agency. The main project is thought to be delivered immediately. Okay, when we say immediately, is in the next minute, 5 minutes, something like that. But in some special cases, company without internet connection, they can delay this. But we think that in the case study of Odoo customers is not the case, and we will deliver everything immediately. The main question, the main difference with the previous regulation is that now Invoice has a new data in the model. First, we have a TicketBAI ID. This ID is it's calculated with a hash algorithm that uses the relevant data of this invoice. For example, the total amount, the date, and so on. Also, the invoice has to be signed and with a certificate, with a valid certificate. And finally, each invoice, the calculation of the TicketBAI ID includes the TicketBAI ID of the previous invoice. So we create like a chain. Okay. So these 3 questions give to the tax agency 2 important control points. First, if an invoice data is changed, they can detect because the TicketBAI ID is not valid after that. And also, if in an invoice chain we delete one of them, or don't deliver this information to the tax agency, they will detect that the next IDs are not valid. Okay. Last element, last new element in an invoice is the QR code. What's the QR code? It's something that we have to print in all invoices. It's mandatory and includes this TicketBAI ID that is shown in the screen. And this is the key element to avoid the fraud. It's not so important in the case of the regular invoice, but it's very important in the case of the ticket of the point of sale. Okay, but to avoid this fraud, is necessary at least the collaboration of the customer. We will see how it works. When the customer receives the ticket, just takes his mobile, reads the QR code, and this jumps to the tax agency website. If this website replaces with a green screen, it means that this invoice is the correct, it's not everything is correct, and it prints some data of this invoice. If the answer is in red, the message says that we don't know what's that. This invoice is not declared by now. Okay. It's interesting also to compare this project, the TicketBAI project, with the one we call this SIAI. This SIAI is a project that in Spain is working for last 4 years, more or less, and also is based in the declaration of each one of the invoices that a company creates, and also the invoices that receives from the vendors. Okay, so it's quite similar in some aspects, but there are big differences. The first one is all this data about the sign-in, the TicketBAI ID, chaining. All this is absolutely new. There's nothing about that in the SII. Also very important, in the second line, you see that the point of sale tickets in this case are declared, and there was nothing about that in the SII. And bueno, next differences will change in the next year, so I think it's not so important. But yes, it's important to see the last one, the legal scope is very important. All companies is independent of their turnover, and all single proprietor companies, I mean any bar, any small commerce, everything, they should declare all the tickets. Okay. In the SII, maybe you know, only companies with a turnover of more than 6 million euros has to declare their regular invoices. We have said that the invoice should be signed, okay, with a certificate. We will see which are the certificates that are valid for an Odoo project. In this case, starting with the type, only software certificates are valid. And if we see the identity, only we have two kinds, the seal certificates and representative ones. The most used certificate is the representative, because this is a typical certificate that most companies have just to sign a PDF or access to a cloud service, for example, okay, with security. But it's not really designed for the use what we are doing now. We need a massive data processing, so the seal certificate is designed for that. Okay, we recommend this one, but technically Odoo will work also with a representative certificate. We have to notice that there is a small spoofing risk there, because there is a copy of this certificate in the server, and the representative one expresses will, so we can, for example, sell the car of our manager. If we are the technical, we access to the server, we get this certificate, and we use it for that. Okay. If we see the qualification, we have two kinds of certificates: the ones that are qualified and not qualified. We prefer the second one because we obtain it by a very simple procedure. Just it's online. We include some data of the company, and we download the certificate, and it's almost free. It's limited the use, but it's enough for us for the delivery of taxes. It's enough. The qualified ones are most expensive, are more difficult to obtain. Okay. At the end, we have to speak about what's the Guarantor Software. That's a name that tax agency gives to this kind of software. The invoices to be delivered to them should be created by a software that is included in the official registry. Okay. This one, Landoo, is obviously included in this registry as the other companies, integrators that have developed this software with us. We have to create a description of the software. We have to sign a responsible declaration and also we accept the penalization if our customer can do some manipulation with the data of their invoices with our software. Okay, so this is a serious question. You have to know that the user, the company that uses this software, can have a big penalization of about 20% of their annual turnover if they make some manipulation in the data of the invoices. Okay. And now we will see a small demo of the Odoo working with TicketBAI. Okay. Okay. First, I have to comment that this we will see a module created for TicketBAI it's a project in the OCA with some companies as Landoo in the Basque Country, about 4 or 5 companies who have created it, and it's published in the Spanish localization repository. Okay. For a user, the creation and invoice, a TicketBAI invoice is as fast and as easy as usual. There's no difference. Just there are some difference after finishing the invoice. The user can see some information about if it's delivered or not, or if it's accepted or not by the tax agency. Okay, so I will create an invoice in the regular way. Normally, our customers do it by a presupuesto. Okay, sorry, I will change to English. I will change to English. Okay. Okay, perfect. So I will create a new sale order for Airbus, for example. I confirm the sale order and create the invoice as usual. Okay, so we have now a new invoice is in draft, and the user has done nothing specifically for TicketBAI, but we have a new tab here, TicketBAI, and it's nearly empty. Okay, once we confirm, when we confirm the invoice and give the real ID, now we have more information in this tab. In this tab, we can see what we are going to deliver now to the tax agency. It says that it's pending, and okay, this is the QR that we have said before. If we click here, we will see what the customer see. Okay, but first we will send it to the customer. Okay, the regular way. We send it by email. Okay, you have it here. Perfect. So as you can see, this invoice is as a regular invoice, has no difference, but we have some information here in the footer. We have the QR code, and also we have the TicketBAI ID here printed. Okay, and that's all. Our customer can read this one. If we go here, now I can see that is sent, and you have an answer. Okay, so we will check what can see the customer if he reads with his mobile, he reads the QR code. We go. This is the web page of the tax agency, and everything is in green. Okay, it says here is the number of the invoice, 21, the amount, and so on. Okay, so I close this, and I can see here the answer. Okay, this is the answer that we have received, and this is the code that the tax agency gives me to say this is really, this is accepted. Okay, and it's nothing more by my side. Okay. At this point, we have finished with this invoice. We will try to show you what happens if we send an invoice to a customer and we don't deliver this invoice to the tax agency. Okay, we have in the server, we are sending the invoices in about 1 minute. So I have to do it fast. To do it faster, I will use the fantastic feature of Odoo, duplicating a document. Every document, you know that in Odoo can be duplicated. So I will do it super fast here. I save, I confirm, and I have a new invoice, the 22. But I will click faster than before. Okay, 22. It's very super fast. Okay, I will try again with another one. I duplicate again, confirm, and this way, I hope, okay. It's a different answer. It asks for a CAPTCHA, and the answer is in red. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you. I close that, and that's all with this invoice. Also, it's very important to know that in TicketBAI, tax agency asks for information of all the life of an invoice. If I create an invoice and it's wrong and I want to cancel it, it's no problem for tax agency. You just have to send the first invoice, and when you cancel it, you just send that it is canceled. So they, in their database, they will annulate the amount of this invoice, and it's not necessary to pay for these taxes, obviously. Okay, so I will try to do that. Now we have a TicketBAI invoice, the last one, the 23, has been sent it. Maybe it's I will reload the page. Okay, and I see we have received it. So if I click now, it will be in green. Okay, just a question. So if I cancel, there's no problem. As always in Odoo, I can cancel an invoice. I don't send it to the customer because before sending the invoice to the customer, I see that is wrong. So okay, I cancel and nothing more happens. But in TicketBAI, there's also the sending. We will deliver the cancellation of the invoice. Okay, so this cancellation is pending. As the first delivery is sent, this one is pending. If I wait for about maximum 1 minute, it will be sent. Once it is sent, I will receive another response. Now I have the response of the delivery of the invoice, the first invoice, and after I will have the answer of the cancellation. Okay, I will try it. And that's it. Okay, the cancellation is sent, and I have another answer, and both of them are received. The second answer, this one, is about the cancellation. Okay, and that's all. If I have to create, after one invoice, I have to create a credit note and so on, again, is the same question. I send the first invoice, I send the credit note, I send the next invoice, and so on. all the invoices have to be sent, and the credit notes also. Okay, so that's all in the working of the TicketBAI module. I think we have now some minutes for your questions. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I wait for your questions.
So, hi guys, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us for this Q&A session. Thank you, Josean, so much for your session today. It was very interesting. We have a few questions. Let's see how active our chatter is. Turns out that it's the semifinals of the Europe Nations League. So basically, maybe there's not a lot of activity going on right now, especially since Spain played yesterday and Belgium is playing today. They will be probably playing against each other. Sorry to the French. I don't want to waste too much time, but just basically to sort of explain what could be the reason for apparent lack of activity on the chatter. But let's have a look at what people have to say about your session and what people are wondering. So
Okay.
let's jump in. We have a very active person, Fepaco. We can start with his question. So Fepaco asks, Josean, do you think a system like this oriented to point of sales sales tax system will be used in all Spain in the next years?
Well, there's nothing official about that, but we are sure that the main agency, the main tax agency of Spain, is looking for this project, is looking if how it works, and sure, in the next years they will. If it runs as they want, they will repeat the experience, and this time for the rest of Spain. Yeah, I think so.
Perfect, perfect. So clearly, it seems like there's a lot of different changes that take place constantly by the fiscal entities. So I can imagine that that means that there has to be a constant update of information, a constant changes being taken up, right, by this module.
Yeah, we have been developing that for about 1 year, and in this time they have changed the requirements sometimes, and also now we have different requirements for different regions in the Basque Country. So in one of them, for example, they ask for only for sales invoices, and in the other, sales invoices and also purchases. So we know that one of the one that only ask for sales, in about 1-2 years, they will ask for purchase information, maybe accounting information, and so on. So we are prepared because we think it will change, and it's important to maintain the software we have done for the next 1-2 years until the system is really stabilized.
Great. So, and are you maybe predicting some interest then from other communities around Spain that were basically perhaps looking into having something like this in the future as well?
Well, most of the communities in Spain, all the tax is in the center. It's for all Spain, and only 4 regions are out of this regulation. So the main question is when Spain, as a whole entity, will look for that. But yes, we can talk to the companies that are guessing to invest in Odoo this year or next year. I think they can be sure that when the requirements get to their region, we will be there, and our experience, we can port it to their region, and it will be easily solved with Odoo. Sure.
Great, fantastic. So let's see what else we have for you, Josean. I mean, I was wondering, perhaps just quickly to dive into the industries that are mostly impacted by this, or perhaps in your experience, what are the industries that are mostly impacted by this module?
Yeah, as we have seen in the presentation, it's for all kind of companies. It's not nothing about the size of the company. It's for all of them, and the kind of business that will be more impacted, we think it's in retail. It will be also in for bars, restaurants, and every professional like architects and medicines. All of these people, they will and the regulation will get to them in a very straight way, and than it was before. Yeah.
Great. So basically, for any sized business, any sized enterprise.
Yeah. Any size and any activity. This is the main challenge that we have here. Yeah.
Great, great. And what about let's maybe get a little bit technical. So which Odoo module was actually impacted here? Which one, yeah, which module was mostly impacted by this by this add-on, by this module?
Yeah, by now the only module that is impacted is invoicing. Okay. In the future, in one of the regions is also impacted accounting. So the question is well, in the future, what will impact for all the Basque Country? We think accounting will be impacted in all three regions too. Yeah.
Great. Well, I think that's pretty much the questions that we have. I just want to add that Odoo it makes it possible to do so many things, but with the help of people that are more knowledgeable about certain aspects of fiscal responsibility. We can actually take Odoo a step further and allow many other businesses to really meet the needs that are required by the law. So, Josean, thank you so much for showing us all the things that you've put together here, and I'm sure it's a huge plus, and it will be a huge plus for many Odoo users now and in the future. So, Josean, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you all so much for joining us for this Q&A, and for the OXP. We really hope that you enjoyed it. We will see you all very soon, we hope. Take care.